So today, what I was thinking, we'll do a little bit of core work, some isometric work to strengthen the legs, and then we'll work our way to a few lunges and maybe Warrior III, which is a challenging balance pose. We'll do, and then I want to do tree pose. We do tree a lot, but we're going to hold it a little bit longer, add some arm stretches to the tree pose. But let's start off on our backs. And we'll do a bit of breathing. So on your back, but the feet are pulled in, knees up to the ceiling. And make sure the head is resting. Trying to get length at the back of the neck. And just rest. One hand on your belly, one hand on the chest. Eyes closed, and just relax here for a few breaths. Make sure the elbows are on the ground so the arms are relaxed. But the idea with the hands on, one on the belly, one on the chest, is that we can feel the movement as we breathe. And we're going to start taking deeper breaths. And as you inhale, you're going to feel the belly rise and then the chest expand. And as you exhale through the nose, the chest contracts, the belly sinks. Inhale into the belly, and then the chest. Exhale, chest sinking, belly sinking. So just go at your pace. This is called three-part breath. And you want it to be a nice transition. Although I say belly and then chest, it's going to be a smooth transition from the belly to the chest. Each inhale, you're trying to pull in a little bit extra air, a little bit extra oxygen, expanding the ribs a bit more. And then maybe take a pause at the top of the inhale. Two or three more rounds. Take the right leg, bring the leg up to the ceiling, hold on to the back of the leg. And we're just going to work on the foot. So we're going to point the toes towards the ceiling, plantar flexion, and then point the toes towards the body, dorsiflexion. So we're just going to point and flex the foot a few times. And then just rotate the foot in one direction. And then rotate in the other direction. And then we point and flex again. And then we switch legs, holding onto the back of the other leg. Point the toes, flex the foot, and just repeat a few times. And then circle one direction, and then circle in the other direction, and then point and flex again, and then bring that foot down to the ground. Keep the left foot on the ground, but take the right leg. So it's like this figure four, but instead of pulling the legs in, we're going to flex that foot and we're going to push the leg away from it. So I'm going to use the palm of my right hand onto the inside of the thigh, just below the knee, and push that leg away, just getting a little bit of a stretch on the inside of the thigh. And hold this for a few breaths. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, just bring that hand a little bit closer to the hip. Maybe that will help. And then we switch to the other side, stretching out the inside of the other hip. And then bring both knees in. You've got a gap between the knees. You're going to take the hands outside the legs. So the palms are onto the outside of the thighs, just below the knees. You're going to use as much strength in the arms as you can. You're trying to squeeze those legs together, but the legs resist. A lot of arm work. Legs are working too, but the arms have to work a bit harder, or they feel like they're working harder because the legs are stronger. And you're breathing, don't hold the breath. Then we make fists. We bring the fists inside the legs again, onto the thighs, inside of the thighs, below the knees, and you try and separate the legs. We take hold of the back of the legs. We try and pull the legs in. And this time the core's working. You can feel the core engaging. You're keeping the back low. So the arms, legs working, and the core. And then we bring the palms front of the thighs, below the knees. Try and push the legs away. And the core this time is working even harder. You're breathing. You can feel that core working. And release. Extend the legs. Bring the hands behind the head. Push the lower back into the ground. Lift the legs up. Lift the head up. Engage the core again. Abs of steel for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we slowly lower all the way to the ground. Walk the feet in. Little cat-cows. Feet are in. Little gap between the legs. As we inhale, we're pushing the lower back into the ground, engaging those abs. As we exhale, we keep the tailbone down, but we're bringing the lower back up. Inhale, push into the ground. Exhale, hollow the back. And just move at your pace. So it's tiny little hip movements, and you're really pushing into the ground on that inhale. And on the exhale, you bring the belly up, but the tailbone stays down. Okay, next, on the next inhale, we push into the ground and we lift those hips up into bridge. And we exhale as we come down. Hollow the back and relax. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Now if you put your hands, your fingers onto the glutes, onto your butt, you can feel those muscles working as you come up and as you come down. And then they relax for a moment before you come back up. So that's one of the areas we're working. We're trying to work the glutes, we're trying to work the lower back muscles, and we're also strengthening the leg. And we're getting a bit of a stretch of the front of the hips as we come up. So next time you're up, let's hold it. Hold it into bridge. We interlace the hands, we walk the arms and the shoulders a little bit closer, getting space underneath the neck. We push the arms and hands into the ground, head is pushed in. Now in bridge, remember, do not gaze from side to side, we're always gazing towards the ceiling. So your choice. You can have the hips nicely lined up with the knees, the legs and the shoulders. That'll keep the back nicely neutral. If you want to lift the hips up a little bit higher, just make sure the back is okay with that. If it bothers the back, just bring the hips down slightly. But as you bring them up, you're going to get a little bit more opening of the hips and the chest. All the time, arms, hands pushed into the ground, and you're breathing. And then we slowly come down, releasing the arms. Bring down the upper back, mid back, lower back. Knees come in. We hold on to the back of the legs and we rock ourselves into boat. People with any back concerns, this is your pose, you're holding onto the legs. Next, we extend the arms, we keep the knees bent, and then for those that want more challenge, we straighten the legs, we lift the legs higher. But you want to try and keep that back nice and neutral. Try not to round the back like this, you're trying to get that chest open, you're trying to get the back as neutral as you can, you're breathing. And then we pull the feet in, we come onto our hands and knees, and we'll do cat-cow a few times. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale as you round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. You're using that breath, you're synchronizing the movement with the breath. You can hear your breathing. It's not like it's super loud, but it is audible. And you're trying to get a little bit deeper, especially when you go into cat. You're trying to round that back a little bit more, if it feels okay. And then we're going to add the legs. So walk the hands forward a little bit, just to make sure there's room behind you. Inhale, you're bringing the right leg up, you're looking up. Exhale, you're pulling the knee in towards the face. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee in. Pulling that knee in a little bit closer if you can, each time. Inhale, extending, looking up. Exhale, knee in. And then we're going to switch. Extend the other leg, looking up as you inhale. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee comes in. And just repeat a few times. A couple more. And then let's go into child's pose. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths. Totally relax. And then what I want you to do, I want you to make sure the arms are extended forward and start walking the hands forward. And then you're going to push the mat, so you're getting the sit bones closer to the heels. And then you're walking the hands a little bit further forward, just trying to get extra length. And then we just relax again. And then we walk the hands over to one side, so we're still in child's pose, but we're walking over to one side, getting a bit more of a stretch on the lower back. Probably the obliques a little bit. And we walk over to the other side, so that my hands are coming off the mat. And then we come back to center. And we're back on our hands and knees. Another way to stretch out the area, but to add a little twist, is thread the needle. So we're on our hands and knees, and we're going to take the right arm behind the left, and you're going to rest on that right arm, the right side of the face. You're pushing that left hand into the ground, elbow towards the ceiling. And as you reach a little bit more with that lower hand to the side of the room, you're going to feel more stretch. As you push that left hand into the ground, elbow up, you're going to feel a bit more stretch. This one, I do this one a lot. This is really good for my back. And then we switch over to the other side. We're threading the left arm behind the right, resting on the face, the side of the face. Then the arm Reaching with that lower arm, pushing that other hand into the ground, elbow up. Take a few breaths. And then we slowly come back on our hands and knees, and we're going to go into Sphinx. So Sphinx, hips are down, legs are straight, we're opening the chest. We make fists, we tuck the toes, forearm plank, lift those hips up. As you lift the hips up, you're looking directly between the hands. Back is totally neutral, not too high, not too low. If this is too tough, you bring the knees to the ground. If you want more challenge, you bring one leg up. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We switch. Other leg, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We come all the way down and we relax totally. Back into Sphinx. Walk the knees under the hips. Keep the elbows under the shoulders, no wider than shoulders. Dolphin, I like to bring the palms together, but you can have the forearms parallel if you prefer. Tuck the toes, knees up off the ground, hips up. So I start off, shoulders are over the elbows, and I try and pull the shoulders away from the elbows. I'm trying to get a more of a straight line from the elbows through the shoulders to the hips. Head should be off the ground. I keep my knees bent. That helps to keep my back more neutral. If you want to straighten the legs, you can, but usually I tell people to bend the knees slightly. Nice shoulder opener on this one. You're breathing. And then we bring the knees down. We bring the hands under the shoulders. We tuck the toes. We come into our friendly downward facing dog. You're looking between the legs, you're pushing the hands, especially the thumb index finger, into the ground. Armpits towards the ground. Feet a little closer to each other. And then just walk the dog, bending one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Take your time on this one. Stretching out the calf muscles. Hold one leg straight, one knee bent. As you do that, push a little bit more into the mat, so you're getting a little bit more length there. So eventually we're trying to get as straight a line as we can at the wrist, keeping that wrist nice and safe. All the time you're pulling the armpits towards the ground. And then we straighten the other leg. So we've got one leg straight, one knee bent. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward and down. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale into mountain. Okay, half salute. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale as we hinge forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, reaching up, looking up, reach. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again, head relaxed. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, mountain. So my feet, by the way, I've got big toes touching each other. I've got a little gap between the heels. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, mountain. Inhale, reach up. And you're trying to get length as you bring the arms up. You're trying to touch that ceiling. Exhale, we fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up, flat back is neutral. Exhale, we fold forward, head relaxed. Inhale, breath core brings us up. This time keep the fingers interlaced. Point the index finger towards the ceiling, get length, and then take a side stretch. Trying to keep the whole body, the upper body in one plane. You're looking up slightly towards the ceiling. Going a little deeper if it feels good with the breath. Inhale, we come up, length. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, we come back up, and then bring the arms either side of you. Shake the arms out, move the shoulders, whatever feels good. I'm just going to move my mat so I'm facing you guys. And we're going to do some lunge salutes. So the first round we're going to go slow, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. So we come to the front of the mat. We bend the knees. We inhale into chair. Exhale as you fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. And on the exhale, I'm going to bring my fingertips to the ground. I'm just going to take the right leg back, knee down, and inhale as the arms come up. So we're in a lunge, and we're going to hold this for a breath or two. And then on your next exhale, we bring the hands down. We come into plank. We bring the knees down, we keep the elbows in as we bring the chin, chest forward and down, and inhale into cobra. Chest open, shoulders down, don't shrug the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, we hold down dog. On your next exhale, we bring that right foot forward, back knee down. Inhaling as the arms come up. So we're on lunge on the other side. We bring the hands down, back foot joins the front foot. We inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent. We inhale into chair, we exhale into mountain. Same routine, but this time the other leg goes back first. Inhale chair, exhale folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we bring the fingertips to the ground, we take the left leg back, knee down. Inhale as the arms come up. Take a breath or two. On the exhale, we come into plank. Knees, chin, chest to ground, or chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. 2 or 3 breaths in down dog. And on an exhale, you bring that left foot forward, back knee down. We inhale as we come up into the lunge. Next exhale, back foot joins the front foot. We inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees are bent. We inhale into chair. Exhale, we come up. So we could go a little faster. In fact, we're going to go a little faster. And if you want a bit more challenge, we'll keep that knee off the ground. So it'll be a high lunge. Let's try that. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fingertips to the ground. We take the right leg back, knee high. Inhale into the high lunge. Exhale into plank. Chaturanga on knees, chin, chest to ground. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. But we still hold down dog. Breath or two. Down dog's almost a relaxing pose in this little routine. On your next exhale, we bring the right foot forward, back knee off the ground. If you want, inhale as the arms come up. Exhale, back foot joins the front foot. We inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees bent. Inhale into chair. Exhale, back into mountain. Inhale, chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fingertips to ground, left leg back, knee high. Don't forget, in this pose, both feet are facing forward, back into plank, chaturanga. It's a high lunge, it's not warrior one, downward facing dog. Few breaths here. Next exhale, left foot forward, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, back foot joins the front foot. We inhale halfway up, exhale, folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. I mean, if you do the warrior instead of the lunge, that's fine, but we're going to do the warriors next. Warrior 1, warrior 2. We start off in chair, inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. This time we walk both legs back into plank, chaturanga, or inhaling into up dog, or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up, extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We readjust the back foot. We're in warrior 1. We'll hold warrior 1. We'll take a little bit of a back bend. And then we flow to the other side. We come into plank, chaturanga, inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through, readjusting the back foot. We're in warrior 1 other side. We come back into plank. No, we don't. We come into warrior 2. Did we do warrior 2 the other side? Reverse warrior, and then we're in plank, chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, exhale down dog, hold down dog. And then let's do child's pose for a bit. I might have missed a warrior 2, but no worries, we'll survive. And then come up. We're sitting on the heels. We bring the hands behind us. Fingers are nicely lined up with the toes. We tuck the chin, we open the chest. Elbows slightly bent. Head back carefully. And maybe bring the hips up and breathe. We bring the sit bones down, we slide the hands forward, so you're back on your hands and knees, and we're back into downward facing dog. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands, inhaling halfway up, exhale as you fold forward, bend the knees, inhale as you come up, exhale back into mountain. So what I was thinking of doing next is, I was going to do the warrior 3, but I think we'll stretch out the hamstrings a little bit. Let's try this. Come into chair again. Fold forward. Halfway up. Plant the hands, we're in plank, chaturanga, knees, chin, chest to ground, cobra or up dog, looking up, engage the core, exhale down dog. Bring the right foot forward, come into warrior 1. And then just bring the hands down. Now what I want you to do next is to hop that back foot in a little bit closer. So let me do the side view on this one. So we're going to go into pyramid pose, which is a nice pose for stretching out the hamstring. So basically the feet are like warrior 1, but little less gap between the feet than in warrior 1. And we're going to straighten that front leg. And then we're going to hold on to the opposite elbows. And we're just going to keep that front leg straight and we just hinge forward. And you're probably going to feel a bit of a stretch at the back of the leg. Now if you want, you can bring the fingertips down to the ground. So trying to keep this leg straight. What I'm trying to get you to feel is a stretch at the back of the leg. So the more you fold forward, the more you're going to feel this one. But I would stay fairly high on this one. Spread the toes. And then all we're going to do, we're going to come back up, we'll keep the legs straight, hold on to the opposite elbows again. And we're just going to swivel through 180. And then hinge forward. And we're working on the other leg. And then maybe bring the hands down. And then we're going to just turn through 90 degrees, facing towards me. And we're going to walk the feet out. So the feet are pretty wide. The feet are parallel. And if you have a block, you could bring your hand on the block. If not, you bring the hand onto the floor or the fingertips. And we're going to open the chest up. We're pulling that lower shoulder down and in. We open the chest. And we stack the arms. So you're trying to keep that top arm nicely lined up with the back. You're breathing. And then we bring that top hand down and we open up towards the other side. And we bring that hand down. Now be careful on the next one. This can be quite a stretch. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk the hands over towards the left foot. And I'm going to take hold of the left ankle with my right hand. And my left hand is just above the right hand. I'm leaning a little bit more onto the toes. And I'm trying to pull myself a little bit closer. This can be quite intense, so just be careful. Don't go too deep. Breathe. And then we walk over to the other side. So we're getting a stretch on the inside of the legs plus the back of the legs on this one. Walking over to the other side, you're taking hold of the right ankle with the left hand and you just bring a little bit more weight onto the toes. So I'm leaning forward slightly and I'm pulling myself a little bit closer to that leg. I also feel the stretch in the back, the lower back here. It's a good stretch, feels good. So next, we walk the hands so that the fingers are nicely lined up with the toes. The arms are like shoulder width apart, and you're going to look up, you're going to push the hands into the ground and then try and push the mat away from you as you hinge forward, and you again a little bit more weight on the toes, and eventually the head is going to come all the way to the ground. Just slightly touch the ground or almost touch the ground. And then we walk the hands forward and we bring the feet together, heel toe, heel toe. And then we slowly roll up. Inhale as the arms come up. Exhale into mountain. Okay, so I'm going to get a block. Block might be useful in the Warrior 3. It's not essential, but it does help. If you have any back concerns, stay in the Warrior 3 prep. Keep the hands on the ground. If your back is good, you can try coming up. So in the Warrior 3, we've done it before. We're trying to get that T shape. So usually I start from a lunge, so I'll let's come into a low lunge with the right foot forward. And then I bring the back knee off the ground. I bring that back leg up. Now what happens a lot is people will bring one leg higher than the other leg, the one hip higher than the other leg. You're trying to keep both hips in line, and the block is there in front of you, just so you can come into the prep. What you could do, if you've got a chair handy or something, you could have a bit of furniture to help you with the balance. So the classical Warrior 3 is we're bringing those arms forward like this, or I'm trying to do this. So we're making that T position. Or this is a variation with the arms going back. You're breathing. As I say, if it bothers the back, just stay in the prep pose like this. And then we come down and we take the block to the other side, and let's just go into the lunge to begin with. Challenging pose. I'm not actually a Warrior 3 fan. And I'm not talking about football either, or whatever, or baseball. I don't follow sports much. I like the Olympics and I like the World Soccer. That's about it. Okay. Hands down, back knee up. We hop forward. Actually, I need a bit more room here. And we come into the prep. We're just bringing that right leg up. Try and keep the hips nice and even. Use the block if you need to. This is the prep. You can hang out here. If you want a little bit more challenge, you go into the full Warrior 3 pose, Virabhadrasana 3. You can extend the arms forward like this, or you can extend them back like a jet plane. And then we come down. We bring that foot down, and let's take child's pose. I find it a challenging pose. And then we slowly come up. Probably I should do it more often. If you find something that's really challenging, I guess you should do it more often to really get a handle on it. If you find it a struggle, you want to practice, you could have the hands against a wall, or you could have the back foot against a wall to help you keep the balance and to sort of refine the alignment and everything. So another pose that people really struggle with are these wide-angled, can't remember the Sanskrit name, wide-angled seated positions where you're folding forward. So I've got I'm trying to get my legs as wide as I can, and then I just try and pull my butt up to get a little bit more space there, and we're trying to hinge at the hips. So the legs are externally rotating to give your hips a little bit more space. The feet are flexed, and then we start walking the hands forward. A lot of people have a real challenge with this one. I used to. I could barely just touch the ground. So that was me in the old days with the back rounded. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to hinge at the hips, keeping the back pretty neutral. You're going to feel a stretch on the inside of the legs. We walk the hands forward, we bring in the forearm down, and we hang out here, and we gradually, carefully go a little bit lower. Some people can get all the way down. I can, if I'm really warmed up, and if I go slowly and patiently, eventually I can get down, but this is as far as I'm going to go today. Just breathe. Keep those feet flexed. And maybe come up, pull yourself forward, and then just come down a little bit more. And then let's come out of the pose. So be careful with that one. pull the feet in. Come onto your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward. Knees bent. We're in chair. And then we come all the way up. So what we're going to do next, we're going to do tree. And we'll hold tree. And then we're going to, while we're in tree, we're going to add an arm stretch like this. So we're going to take one hand, the back of the hand is between the shoulder blades. We bring the other arm up and we hook the fingers. And once you've hooked the fingers, if you can hook the fingers, you slide that lower hand up the back. Try not to push into the head as you're doing that one. If you can't, if that's not possible for you, you can just keep the arms up, you can just hold on to the opposite elbows, whatever feels good. So in tree, I'm going to start off standing on my left foot. My right foot is inside the leg, below or above the knee. We'll be holding tree for a little while, so this, your leg's going to complain a little bit after a while. So I start off slow, I'm bringing my palms together, I'm opening across the collarbone. If your foot is above the knee, you should be able to feel those inner quads working. We bring the arms up, trying to frame the face. If it bothers the shoulders, just lower. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of furniture there to keep your balance. You can bring the shoulders down. Or you can just have the arms like this if it bothers the shoulders. Now for those that want to add that little arm stretch, I'm going to take the back of my left hand between the shoulder blades. Some people could do this if you've got plenty of shoulder flexibility. I have to work at this a little bit. And then I'm managing to hook the fingers and I'm sliding that lower hand up my back a little bit. And I'm trying not to push into the head. And I'm getting a shoulder stretch, hip stretch, and I'm strengthening that standing leg. My standing leg starting to complain a little bit. I'm feeling in the calf muscle, the ankle, and I'm breathing. And we release, and we shake everything out. Shake the legs, shake the arms, move those shoulders. Okay, other side. We're on the right foot. Left foot is inside the leg, below or above the knee. Skin on skin helps. More friction, the foot doesn't slide down the leg as easily. You're working the quads. The inner quads you can feel working. You're bringing the palms together. Gaze somewhere, something that's not moving. And whenever you're ready, the arms come up. Just find an arm position that's good for you. I know some people, struggle with the shoulders. Especially if the shoulders are over the head and that's an issue for you, you can just stay with the palms together like this. Or maybe this is easier for you. Some people like to bring the fingers together, some people just frame the face. Add the arms behind you if you want. I'm taking the right back of the right hand, I'm grabbing it with my left hand, getting that hand, that back of the right hand between those shoulder blades. Needs a bit of encouragement. Inhale, left hand up, try and keep that arm close to the head as you reach for the fingers, you hook the fingers, you slide that lower hand up the back a little, and then you pull the arm away from the head and you breathe. Now my ankle's working. My leg's starting to tell me it's doing a little bit of work here. You breathe and hold the breath, and then let's come out of the pose. The best part is coming out, right? And let's just shake things out. So let's shake the legs first. On the left leg, we're just going to shake the right leg. Get it nice and loose. Get that foot nice and floppy. Sometimes it feels like the foot's bolted onto the leg, but we're trying to get it nice and loose. And then other side. Nice loose. It's going to loosen up all the muscles in the leg, this one, and the glutes. And then we lean over, so the right hand is just sort of totally dangling here. It's totally loose. And we just shake it out. Shaking the arm out, the hand out. And then other side, leaning over to the other side. Let it dangle, get it loose, shake it. And then maybe both arms forward. So it's just like this kind of action, get it nice and loose. And then we come back up. And we just move the shoulders a little bit, loosen up there. Okay, let's work our way to pigeon. Come to the front of the mat. Feet together, knees bent, inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, walk into plank. Let's hold plank. So plank, regular plank. If regular plank is a problem for the wrists, you come into a forearm plank. Regular plank, heels are directly over the toes, shoulders are over the wrists. Don't sink between the shoulder blades. You're breathing, you're looking directly at the ground. Chaturanga. To get into chaturanga, we start to rotate the hands outward. That gives the inside of the elbows, that makes the inside of the elbows point a little bit more forward. We bring the whole body forward, and we're trying to drop the elbows to 90. Some people have to go all the way down. We come into upward facing dog, opening the chest, engage the core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, extended down dog. And on the exhale, we're bringing that right knee towards the right wrist. So my knee is close to the edge of the mat, my other foot is close to that opposite hip. Pull the knee more centered if the groin stretch is too intense or doesn't feel quite right. Keep both hips even to the ground and then start walking that back foot back a little bit if you want, so we can go a little deeper. This right hip may be off the ground. You can pop a little block or a cushion underneath it if you want. But try and keep the hips nice and even. And then extended pigeon, we come forward and we relax. All the time, you're keeping the hips even. And that back foot, you want the foot nicely lined up with the leg. Don't let it sickle over to one side. And I usually keep the top of the foot on the mat. If you're not feeling a lot of hip stretch, and also if your knee is in good condition, to get into a deeper stretch, you can bring that shin more parallel to the front of the mat. So either you bring the shin forward or you walk back. I'm holding onto the foot, walking back a bit. So my foot isn't quite as close to that opposite hip. But really be careful with that knee if you do that. But you can get into a deeper hip stretch that way. And then you can come back down. And you can try that, see if that makes a difference. Make sure you're warmed up, and as I say, keep that knee nice and happy. Okay, take hold of that back foot with the left hand. You're bringing the hand inside the foot and you're pulling the foot in towards you. You're getting a little bit more of a quad stretch. And then we release and we transition to the other side. Let's go into down dog. Walk the dog. Bring the left leg up, extended down dog, and then into pigeon. You're bringing that leg forward, knee over to the side, maybe centered if you need it. You're walking that back foot back a little bit. Find the stretch that's just right for you. And whenever you're ready, you come into the extended version of pigeon and relax here a little bit. And we come back up, and for those that want a little bit extra stretch, we get their shin a little bit more parallel to the front of the mat, and readjust, realign the hips, and then you can come back down. We come back up. And we pull that back foot in. So we're running out of time here. So I'm going to bring that foot in. Bit of a quad stretch. And release. And we're going to go straight into a twist here. So I'm going to lean over to my left side as I bring that back foot round. And I'm going to twist over to the right. Seated twist. Inhale. Getting tall, exhale into the twist. Inhale, we come out of the twist, we switch the legs, and we twist in the other direction. Try and get tall, and then into that twist. Unwind, come onto your back. So let's do a full body stretch, and then we'll just do a short Shavasana. So on your back, you're extending the legs, bringing the arms over the head, trying to get as much length as you can. A little bit of a side stretch, getting into that banana shape. And then we stretch out the other side of the body. And then we recenter. And into Shavasana, you bring the arms either side of you, palm stays up. Lengthen the back of the neck, support the head if you need to. Palms up, feet relaxed, and just let yourself sink into the ground. Maybe moisten the lips. And then just like we did at the beginning of the class, we're going to start taking deeper breaths as you inhale, letting that belly rise. and the chest fill and expand. Exhale from the chest, chest sinking, belly sinks. Inhale, belly, chest, exhale from chest to the belly. Couple more. Walk the feet in and just roll over to one side. Take a breath or two. With the eyes closed, come up into a seated position. And then inhale as you sweep the arms up. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, keep the palms together. Namaste.